Mr. Beast give me some money. It was this trend. Where's Hobblecraft? Where's 1.22 at Mojang? It was what I had envisioned all along for Hobblecraft. Because we already have one under our belt saying Bungee 73,000 times. I end up recording videos alone and just ultimately deleting the recordings because it's boring not having them there. Well, hello there, guys. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bungee Talk. I don't really know how to start this episode. It's been actually just over a year since I started the podcast. And as you can see, we have no guests with us today. We have a little custom logo, new studio for the podcast. Good stuff. A lot of fun guests coming up soon. And a lot to talk about. I guess I have stuff wrote down here what I need to talk about, so I better pull that up or I will forget. So I guess the first thing we should touch on is where the podcast has been. Where have I been for the podcast? So I started this in February of last year. It is now, when this goes live, it'll be April of 2026. This was started in February 2025 with the goal to interview other creators and gaming companies and people of interest to some. And we started the first episode. It went good. We had a second episode with Omnivore Games. That went pretty good. But after that, a few of the people I had planned to come onto the podcast ended up not being able to make it, and being who they were quite busy and couldn't reschedule quickly enough. And we didn't really have a good lineup after that for the podcast, so it unfortunately had to end. But I can't tell you who, but I will say we have a good lineup of creators the next coming up couple months. And I think it's going to be really, really good for you guys. I think you're going to enjoy it quite a lot. And I think everyone's just going to have a good time with it. So expect frequent episodes of the podcast. I want to get out every 2 weeks a new episode. So be sure to follow the Spotify, the YouTube. We have Instagram now at the Bungee Talk on all social medias. Is at Bungee Talk. Rate us 5 stars on Spotify, and we have merch. Shortly after the second episode of the podcast went live last year, I thought I would create merch for the podcast. I'm currently not wearing any, but we do have it. It will be linked in the description of the YouTube video, and it's just on the regular Bungee store, so anyone listening, it's in there. Go pick us up some Bungee Talk merch. And good stuff it is, so go check it out. So, something I wanted to touch on, not necessarily for a while, but just a short, quick topic, is I always get asked frequently, why do I twitch and stutter? And I thought, since this is a podcast, we go off the books what we normally wouldn't say in our videos. I thought I would explain a little bit on that, of why that happens. So, pretty much, I have what is called Tourette's, so I twitch. I try to cut as much of it out of the podcast and videos as I can for you guys to enjoy it better, because, well, it's not fun watching someone try to get the words out there for like 5-10 seconds. So, that is that, and that's also why I stand when I play video games. People always ask me, yo, why do you have a standing desk? Why is that? That's why I hate sitting still. As you can probably imagine, this podcast is a new endeavor for me, sitting in these chairs. There are hard chairs over there that I might switch to for future episodes because this is quite uncomfortable. But that is why that happens, so you are aware now, you know. Please don't spam my comments, why do you twitch? Listen to the podcast. So what have I been doing since the most recent episode of the podcast, like 13 months ago? Well, I've been grinding YouTube. We have since then reached 1,000, and possibly by the time this releases, we will have passed 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I've been grinding the vlogs, the review, well, not the reviews, the vlogs, the main gaming channel, just having a good time and enjoying myself playing games with others, and it's fun. I've been, though, as you can probably imagine, quite busy doing that. Multiple real life jobs. Yeah, it's been busy. That's also why the podcast hasn't happened in a while. Um, that is a reason. So hopefully this podcast can blow up and get 1,000 subscribers too. Hey, follow the Spotify, everyone. Follow the Instagram. Get some merch. How about it? Um, so yeah, that's where I've been. You know, just living life, working. At the fat at the restaurant I work at. I've been working there. Flipping burgers. You know, if you know, you know. Grinding. Just YouTube, grinding life, grinding work. I run sound for my church, so I'm busy most days of the week doing something for that. And actually, shout out to them for lending me the studio here to film the podcast. So shout out to them. But on the topic of the podcast studio, I suppose we could touch a little bit on this topic that I have here. What's happening moving forward with the podcast? And I said a little bit of this at the beginning. I have some insane lineups coming up for the podcast, epic creators, and just a lot of fun stuff coming up soon for you guys. And like I said, I want to try to get an episode out every 2 weeks if I can, 2 to 3 weeks. I think it would be really cool. And just to start the grinding this, maybe record an episode every couple weeks, put one out, you know. If you are a person who thinks you are interesting, come on the podcast. We'd love to have you. Business email is on the Instagram. Contact us. We'd love to have you on. And if you are a company or a brand, we need sponsors to pay for all this equipment. So, if you are someone who has a brand, wants to sponsor us, send us your product. We will say epic things about it. And also send some green stuff with it. Cool. All right. I wanted to, I just had to do, get the plug out there. Any sponsors out there want to sponsor us, please do. As you can see, we have not been able to pay for a new guest yet. We are still missing a guest. So there should be someone on that couch next episode, but yes. So good stuff indeed. Like I said, hit me up if you're someone cool. This is probably a topic that's gonna take up a big portion of this podcast. Is some of where has Caden been in Caden and Andrew plays? After the the first podcast episode, when I had talked about how Caden and Andrew plays happened, there was a little bit of a falling out. You all wanted to know a little bit more on that, and being careful what I say here, because I'd like to have Caden here to tell his side of the story and defend himself. So, Caden, if you're listening, watching, hit me up. We'll have you in here. But essentially, what had happened at the Caden and Andrew plays era, that stuff is past and happened. But there has been new beef surfacing that people have been discussing. He has been discussing, and I wanted to touch on that. So essentially, long story short, I trolled him in his live stream, and he got quite upset about that. You know, he's very sensitive to that type of stuff, And so when I troll him in his stream, it's like it's do or die. Anything, I think in his mind, it's like anything's do or die for him. So when I trolled him, he got very mad and for the littlest thing and essentially blocked me everywhere. He doesn't even recognize that he knows me. So he in the way he thinks when he thinks, um, it's like like I said, it's this do or die aspect of mindset, right? So like if I troll him and he doesn't like it, that's it. It's over. It's at if a random fan trolled him, he would ban them permanently, not let them talk about anything. They wouldn't be a part of his channel anymore. See, he thinks in that mindset where like if someone does something mean to me and I don't like it, but like even if other people think it's funny, he doesn't like it. You're essentially done in his eyes. You're cooked. You're no longer part of whatever he has going on. And yeah, that's pretty much what happened. He blocked me everywhere. Um, we actually had a not really competition. I proposed the idea to him, but then he blocked the email I'd messaged him on and said, "No, screw the idea." No. Um, if any of you remember the meme, like late last year, probably even into the beginning of this year, there was a song that was blowing around that said, "Mr. Beast, give me some money." It was this trend, and the dude who created it, Caden, put a comment on and said, "I'm not Mr. Beast, but here's $2," and donated $2 to the dude through Super Thanks. That's cool. So I'm scrolling through one day and I see the Mr. Beast give me some money dude. But it's a different video and it says shout out to this guy. Right there is the one and only Gliitch, Caden. So I read what had happened and went back to the original video and then further to donated then $5 to try to start. Who can donate the highest. Someone had donated 3 after Caden, $3. I donated 5, and so far to my knowledge, I'm the highest bidder. So I sent him an email asking him if, hey, do you want to be in a little, for the content, good old type, little race challenge? Who can donate the most to this dude? Game of chicken, really. Who's gonna donate the most? And he pretty much said no. In terms for the podcast friendly, he said no. Screw you, and he blocked me again. So brilliant stuff. So that is pretty much the beef going on. I mean, I don't really want to, like I said, I don't want to get into too much of it. I want him to be here to defend himself. If we were to do an episode with him, Glitch, you're always welcome. Just to explain his side of the story for that, and that stuff. It can't hear that, can it, producer? Okay. Sorry, I'm looking. The mini fridge just kicked on in the studio. So I'm just making sure it couldn't hear nothing. So that is pretty much the drama, that side of things. Like I said, I want him to be here to defend himself. I'm not gonna get into too much of it because some of the details are quite personal. Some of the details probably shouldn't be shared online, so we're gonna leave it at that. But that is just for everyone who wanted to know. That is what was going on with the Glitch Caden drama, the beef, and just that's what had happened. So where's Hobblecraft? That is a question I've gotten many a time, and to be honest with you, Hobblecraft probably is not returning. Hobblecraft was a survival SMP based off of Hermitcraft for smaller creators that I created. I'm the founder of the Hobblecrafts. And Like I had mentioned in the first episode of the podcast, I had created it quite a while back on one of my original YouTube channels, Hobblecraft Season 1. It was a follow after Wobblecraft, which was just a little Xbox friends only, anyone can join, build a world, have some fun. This one I tried to be as professional as possible with, have people on, and Hobblecraft Season 1 actually lasted for about half the time that I wanted the season to last. We had a lot of members, we had a lot going on, and then by the time it ended, there wasn't really anything left to do. We had built mega bases, we had looted pretty much all of the end and nether, people had created insane farms, and it was fun. When I invited everyone back for a Hobblecraft Season 2, where in that I wanted them to record, at most pretty much everybody decided not to join. They didn't want to record. They were doing this on their own time for their own fun, and they didn't have YouTube channels. So, or if they did, they weren't uploading Minecraft based content on it. So, I had invited a few of my friends to join Hobblecraft Season 2, and pretty much at the beginning of this time on my channel, I was fairly new to YouTube on the Bungee channel. I had very few subscribers, probably sub 200, and I started the second season. With that season, we got trolled massively by one of the viewers who had joined, and pretty much we decided after that trolling had happened, it was a very personal troll related to in real life topics, which I will not talk too much about in the podcast, but I can share a little bit. At the school I was going to when I was in school at the time, and that was a year and a half before that season even started, there had been a rumor going on about me, won't say what, but there were lies made and spread about me, which caused me to ultimately decide to leave the school to step away from it because it had gotten out of hand. Well, one of my friends from that school, from the shop that I was in, he decided and wanted to join, so I let him on, and he started hacking and using command stuff, and we were gonna ban him anyways. And when we did ban him, he got quite salty from that ban and invited one of his friends, someone who didn't really like me too much, onto the server, and then they troll us massively, more than what he had done himself. He had built a giant suspicious object above our base. I'll leave it at that. I don't know if the episode's still public. If it is, you can go watch it. Season 2, episode 7 or 8. And he had trolled us massively, and that was fine. We cleaned that up. But then he invited his friend on, and that was just, he blew up the castle. He hacked creative mode, lava towers, TNT, like all kinds of crazy. Our castle was essentially destroyed. So we decided we were just going to quit and restart on a new world without him, and it was going great. Well, in the beginning of season 3, I guess I used the same realm from season 2. I banned everyone, but it was the same realm code, just reset the world. And well, I had gotten a message on that, actually written in a sign in my starting little hobbit hole base, that the person whose name was Lilith Meyer, that was their gamer name, Lilith Meyer is here. And then my chest was looted, all my valuables were gone, and I stopped playing. And then Corbin did another episode, and then after that, because I wasn't playing, I think he just fell out of it as well and didn't play either. And really, we just quit Hobblecraft Season 3. We just weren't really in the feeling or the time and didn't have time for a new season. And then Hobblecraft Season 4 came around, and we had good time in it, actually. At the start, there were more members, but they all left because they didn't either record or do something. I kicked them out. This was a very professionally set server. we upload once a week. If you can't promise it, then you upload every Wednesday. Okay, if you don't know for sure that time that you're gonna upload every week, upload every Wednesday, which is what me and Corbin did. And then, put some actual effort into the world. We're trying to make this a semi-professional enough looking series. And just make it have fun, make it look professional, and record and upload. And ultimately, in the end, it was just me and Corbin who were left by like episode 3 or 4. Everyone else had left. They committed to it, and then they just uncommitted, and that's not cool. So we kept going for like a lot of more episodes, and then stuff happened on the stream. I trolled Corbin, just a little troll, and then he killed me, got me back for it, and then he picked up something of mine, logged off, and didn't come back to give it on. He didn't think he picked it up, and I was like, well, check. No, he didn't check. So like I said in the first episode of the podcast, I know I'm sort of repeating some of that. I just pretty much banned him from being on my channel until he either gave it back or accepted that he stole the item from me. So he made a follow-up episode explaining, or actually his episode was before my episode, the end of Hobblecraft went out, explaining why he was leaving the server and just why he, I guess, was not having fun with it anymore. And of course, we'll get into more of these topics when Corbin is here. He will be joining us for future podcast spoilers. But like I said, I want people to be able to defend themselves when I talk about them. So he will be here, but I'm just explaining what had happened. And so we left it at that, and then that was pretty much the last season of Hobblecraft. I was planning to make a new Hobblecraft, and then while I was planning for that, getting creators ready, I got invited to Blockcraft. And Blockcraft was a series that was essentially like Hobblecraft, but people were actually committed to it. There were like 10 of us. We were actually committed, recording videos on it, having a good time, and it was what I had envisioned all along for Hobblecraft. And then you guys know all the Noov drama. She had essentially told none of us that this was a test for something new, and banned us all, and deleted the world, and we had to start over on episode 3. So, Blockcraft, I took it over, and have been running it. And since then, the ban, I think everyone just didn't really want to join back after the ban. So anyone who did join back, no one has been on really the server at all. It's only really been me being productive. There have been like another friend of mine, Punch, he was on it quite a lot with me. But like besides me and him, there's no one else. And he doesn't upload the videos. So I sort of really haven't done an episode on that. For that reason being, no one is active on the server, no one's online, and it's not fun to do a survival multiplayer without the multiplayer. Do you feel me? So that is where Blockcraft is. I don't expect it to return anytime soon. If it were to return, I have thought about transforming it into a single player world, downloading the file, turning it into that, and turning it into my 1.22 Let's Play whenever 1.22 comes out, starting it fresh there, because since my 1.21 Let's Play, there have been, is it 11 or 12 now, micro updates in that 1.21. We're like .12 or .13 now. The biggest updated version of Minecraft ever, by the way, 1.21 is. And yeah, so I might transform that into that Let's Play. We'll see how it goes. But on the topic of Let's Play, where's my Let's Play been? A bunch of people have been watching my Let's Play, new viewers or old, and are like, where's more episodes? You've only made 19 episodes in this series. Where is it? And well, I didn't really have anything else to do in that Let's Play. You see, I beat the game, I built a mega base, I had a farming district, I had a nice little cozy cottage, I had a pet. I was set, you know? Sure, there's a lot more that I could have done going out and exploring, but not a lot of new biomes have been added. There's a lot of new stuff in Minecraft to do now, and there weren't other players on it. That's the thing about the Let's Play, that it's a solo player world. And if I'm just constantly grinding a solo player world, it gets very boring. And if I don't have a separate world or separate series or season where I'm in with other people in the game, not just challenge videos and mods, it gets very boring and lonely playing that game without other people with you. And that's really where I was at. I uploaded one episode, episode 19. I don't even think it's public anymore. And I was like, if you guys want to see more, let me know. If not, I've done enough in this world. We'll just wait till the next update. And Mojang is refusing to release update 1.22. Can we talk about that for a minute? Where's 1.22 at, Mojang? Okay, hopefully it's coming this year, but we've had 1.20, 1.1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, 13, and what are we even on now? I don't even know. It's like in the 12.13, the biggest updated version of Minecraft ever, and we have not had a 1.22 release. Now, I'm hoping 1.22 is an end. There's been a lot of spoilers and a lot of, not leaks, but like hints by Mojang and Mojang leakers that we could be getting an update. It would be very nice if we did. I think that would bring a lot of cool, fresh new stuff to do in a Let's Play, because by episode 10, you've already beaten the game, so you can go explore maybe, hopefully, new biomes, new mobs, maybe a new way entirely to beat the game. Who knows? It could be good, it could suck. But that's another podcast when it releases. So what's going on with me, Bungee, as the company? Bungee Enterprises is my YouTube company, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what's been going on is as far as that goes. What have we been up to? What have we been preparing, planning, envisioning for the future of the channel? Really, the Bungee team consists of about 10 people at the max. I have 3 people that I know running the email and the phone. Like the contact information for Bungee, I have 3 people on that. For example, one of you were to reach out about wanting to be on the podcast or wanting to work for Bungee, they handle that and they send me any information they have. I also have access to it, so I can check it. It'll pop up on my phone if anything happens, but usually I tend to leave that away unless something catches my eye quite interesting. We have an editor, long form editor. We have a shorts editor who's been put on hold temporarily due to financial issues at Bungee, so please buy merch. Brands, companies, sponsor us. Please sponsor the pod. We'll talk good about your product. But he's been put on hold. He's been helping a little bit, but most of the team is volunteer currently at Bungee. Like Corbin, he's the second in charge at Bungee, so like anything that happens in the Discord, he takes care of that, or anything happening that he notices an issue with, he'll let me know. And then we have like the creative idea team at Bungee. So like Yeti, he's part of videos. Anyone who's really in videos quite frequently, or suggests ideas about videos we should record, are in that team. And then pretty much everything else is done by me. So there's like I said, it's a small company, it's a small team, but of course, producer. We have the producer over there. He's a W guy. Um, but like besides that, it's a small company, and but we've been working on a lot of epic things. All that to say, um, we are going to be revamping and reviving the reviews channel. Apple has a lot of new products coming out this year. There's been a lot of rumors about, well, I guess for the past decade, really, but there's been a lot of rumors about the Apple foldable phone. Apple Intelligence has really not fully been released yet. I mean, it's been released to an extent, but like, I don't think all the stuff Tim Cook envisioned has been worked on and released yet. Um, Whole new MacBook lineup and iPad lineup for this year that we will be hopefully reviewing on the reviews channel. So please go subscribe to that. There's gonna be a lot of epic upcoming stuff. The vlogs channel, we have a lot of fun vlogs planned, and not necessarily exactly the same, but a lot of like How Ridiculous, if you know who they are, the three Aussie boys. Um, a lot of that type of stuff, themed videos planned for the vlogs channel. So trying to break more world records, because we already have one under our belt saying bungee 73,000 times. I still can't even say it, like, stand to say the word bungee at this point. I said it so many times. And let me talk about that real quick. I set a stream up last month saying bungee 100,000 times, and I would have done it too. But my stupid school district didn't send out a notification anywhere that the next day was a flex day. Being a half day student, I don't have classes on flex days. So I checked midstream. I checked and I was like, okay, do I have a. I was checking while I was saying bungee. I was like, do I have a flex day? Or is there by any chance no school tomorrow so I can stay up for the next 5 hours and finish the stream saying bungee 100,000 times? But it was set a normal school day. I get to school in the morning after saying bungee 73,000 times, and it's a flex day. A flex day! Are you kidding me? I was so mad. I was fuming. I was raging. Like, I was about ready to punch somebody. I was mad. It was in Minecraft. I punched him in Minecraft. I was so mad. I was just absolutely, just like, everyone who I was friends with, their parents were posting on Facebook. They were like so many messages going out to the school district. Like, there was no mention of a flex day. We have work. We weren't planning for this. We can't send our kid in today. Or someone's going to have to bring him home. This is really annoying. I could have said it 17,000 more times. But you know what? It it was all screwed up, and I was so mad. I was actually so mad. But we have the world record, and we're gonna be doing more of those world record things on the vlogs channel. It's gonna be fun. I have a bunch of ideas in mind. The creative ideas people are pumping out some epic ideas, and it's cool stuff. So, what is going on in the future of Bungie? I know I just talked a little bit about this. We're going to be reviving the reviews channel, podcasts. Hopefully, every 2 weeks we can get one out about something. If I don't have a guest, I'll figure something out to do. But I want there to be some sort of podcast out every 2 weeks. Make it entertaining, make it fun. Um, the vlogs channel doing epic um challenges, the reviews channel reviewing epic tech, and the gaming channel just continuing putting out gaming videos every 2 days like I've been doing. The exceptional, extra video every once in a while. I'm just going to be grinding, really. I'm going to be planning out epic videos, grinding on the YouTube grind. And of course, I might be late to some stuff, or some stuff might take longer to come out than others, because I have a real life job. I have multiple real life jobs and things I'm part of and that I do that take up a lot of my time. But I try to give Bungie Enterprises will say 50% of my time throughout a week. So that's recording videos. Now back to recording podcasts, vlogs, reviews. There's a lot new stuff coming in now that I'm going to have to be throwing on top of that. That is going to slow down the rate at which I do other things in life and slow down the rate on how quickly things in Bungee come out and are done. But like I said, the future of Bungee, we're gonna try to keep going the way we are. 2 videos a week on the gaming channel, occasional videos on the vlogs, reviews, trying just to pump out fresh new content for you guys that I think you all would enjoy and find entertaining. Um, I guess I can probably say it now, and if it hasn't happened, spoilers ahead. I am looking I'm looking for 2 gamers, either in person or online, who are committed to YouTube. I'm looking for them who want to make YouTube a full-time job and are willing to put in the time necessary to get multiple videos out a week and just grind and grind. Um, I've been looking online. Maybe it's already happened by now, but I guess we can get into a little bit of this topic now. There is not necessarily beef going on between me and Yeti. Me and Yeti are great friends outside of YouTube, but when it comes to recording videos, Yeti doesn't think about the content. He thinks, oh, that's boring. In his opinion, everything's got to be about his opinion. And most of the time, I end up recording videos alone and just ultimately deleting the recordings because it's boring not having him there. Hopefully, someday soon, we'll have Yeti on the podcast. Everything will be cool to talk about, and then he can defend himself more on this. But I've been looking for 2 people to not permanently replace him by any means, but to be there as my primary for gaming, my primary people to record with, and then Yeti can join them if he wants to. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to, or he can just be in other videos. But I want fully committed people to the content, you know? Like, we record a video on the game of life with 2 people, and then another one, for example, and he is refusing to do another one without another person because he doesn't think it's good content. And I'm telling you, you don't have to upload it on your channel. It's for my channel. It's for my content that my viewers enjoy. And everything's about him, you know? And frankly, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of his crap. And so I've been looking for, and like I said, this has probably already happened by the time this podcast comes out, but I've been looking for 2 new people to be my primary recording people with and just grind it out, you know, like the old school days of YouTube 10 years ago, before YouTube became like everyone was thinking mindset about the business. It's just a game. You just game, record, upload, sleep, record, upload, sleep. That is the grind that I want to have. And I'm hoping it's a good one. I'm hoping it works out. I'm hoping everything goes smoothly, and I'm hoping there is no baggage left behind between me and Yeti as we slowly start to not record that much together, unless of course he wants to join the group recordings. He can, by all means. But that is it. Another big separating thing between me and Yeti is that I'm family friendly to my viewers. It is much just better for the YouTube algorithm for monetization, rather than saying the F word every 5 words like he does. Half the videos we have to re-record, or I have to cut out a gigantic portion of because he is just very unfamily friendly, and it doesn't work well on my channel. So that is another reason I've been looking for family friendly content creators to record with. And I've had a lot of people respond to some of the messages I've sent them, and it's going to be tough picking too. So I hope everyone listening who had a shot at it, no hard feelings if you weren't picked. I picked the best interest of who I thought was best for the channel. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to do it for this podcast. I hope you guys have sincerely enjoyed this episode. I know it's been a very long time since I put one out. There's going to be a lot more of them coming in the future, and I I just hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did making it and bringing it back to life. Again, everyone, please follow us on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars. Let's become the next big podcast. Um, the YouTube, the Instagram, merch, sponsors, reach out to me if you have something you'd like to sponsor me with for the podcast. Pay me to talk about it, all that good stuff. Um, Bungee will take your money, trust. um, Creators out there listening to the podcast or people who know creators, like if you know someone who'd be a good fit for the podcast, send them a message, have them come on. If you think you'll be a good podcast, hit me up on the Instagram, contact the email on the Instagram. Um, Hit me up. We'll chat. Um, and I guess I'll give a spoiler. Spoiler, everyone. The next episode, we will have Corbin here in that seat right there, talking about his YouTube experiences, about his whole endeavor into why he started and, well, where he's going now. So I thank everyone. I thank you all for listening and watching. Um, and I will see you all in the next episode of the Bungee Talk podcast. Have a great day, everybody.